Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Yep, just like I said yesterday, so much of this could have been avoided. A lot of this stuff with Donald Trump could be avoided. Whether it's the tariff talks, like Canada for instance, they probably could have had a pretty preferential trade agreement by now, but instead they completely played themselves and now they're FAFOing. It could have been avoided had they not just acted like complete unhinged lunatics. Well, the same thing applies to the Democrats and their disgusting lawfare campaigns. So much of what's happening right now could have been avoided had you guys just not engaged in despicable weaponization of the justice system and attempted to destroy Donald Trump's life and everybody around him. But of course, Democrats crossed the frickin' Rubicon, and now, well, the boomerang is bouncing back and hitting them straight in the damn forehead. Oh, and boy, does Adam Schiff have a target for a forehead. Actually, come to think of it, Tish James as well. But yeah, I guess we're at the stage of unforeseen consequences. The same Democrat experience, engage in totally emotional, unhinged, impulsive behavior, not thinking about the consequences, and then act shocked, like shocked Pikachu, when it becomes FAFO o'clock. Well, folks, it's time. The dials on the clock have reached FAFO, and it seems Tish James and Adam Schiff may be headed straight to frickin' prison. The Trump administration now mobilizing a special prosecutor, as well as a grand jury, to oversee potential charges of mortgage fraud targeting Tish James and Adam Schiff. They're getting a little bit of a taste of their own frickin' medicine. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so it's happening. Take a look.
A criminal investigation of Adam Schiff is underway, conducted by U.S. Attorney's Office in Maryland for possible charges involving mortgage fraud. Now, this follows the story we broke last month when the Federal Housing Finance Agency sent a criminal referral to the DOJ alleging that Schiff, in multiple instances, falsified bank documents and property records to acquire more favorable loan terms. In a 2011 affidavit signed by the then California congressman, he certified that a property in Montgomery County, Maryland, is his primary residence. He also owns a condo in Burbank, California, which he's also claimed is his primary residence, and said so in 2023 during his campaign for Senate. Well, Senator Schiff has not responded to us about these allegations, but we were able to find a statement that his campaign spokesperson gave to CNN back in 2023. She said that the Burbank condo is his primary residence, but Adams' California and Maryland addresses have been listed as primary residences for loan purposes because they're both occupied throughout the year and to distinguish them from a vacation property. Well, the law does not work that way. Let me just say that, but nice try.
And as we're now learning, Attorney General Pam Bondi just appointed Ed Martin as a special prosecutor to investigate Tish James and Adam Schiff for allegedly committing mortgage fraud. And actually, it's got me thinking, maybe, just maybe, that's why Adam Schiff worked so diligently to stop the nomination of Ed Martin.
I'm doing everything I can to block this guy from becoming U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia. This is Ed Martin. Well, let's start out with his background experience. He has none. Never been a prosecutor, never prosecuted a case. So how did he come to the attention of Donald Trump? Well, he came to the attention of Donald Trump in the way many people have come to the attention of the president. He was one of the big stop the steal lawyers. He, among other things, not only pushed the big lie, but also represented people on January 6th who were there and assaulting the Capitol. Ed Martin was not only present on January 6th and obviously enjoying himself, but he also represented people charged with serious crimes on January 6th. So that's his other qualification, that is defending violent criminals engaged in trying to overturn the election for Donald Trump. But he also had one other thing going for him in Donald Trump's world, something not unlike other Donald Trump nominees. He wrote a book of sorts about Donald Trump. Okay, in Ed Martin's case, it was this book. Yeah, okay, it's a coloring book.
Well, maybe it's because he knew that if Ed Martin was confirmed, he'd be heading straight to jail.
Right to jail, right away.
Yeah, finally, it's all coming to bite them in the behind. No one is above the law, right? No one is above the law, not even the president. Well, if an average American lied on their mortgage application, overstated income, or tried to get shady tax benefits, or lied about their personal residence, or lied about the details of their property in order to have a better interest rate, well, they'd be be in jail immediately, no questions asked. If there was evidence, clear, undeniable evidence of a crime, a regular citizen would be held accountable. But now because it's Adam Schiff and Tish James, it's somehow unacceptable? I mean, what happened? Because these are the same people who've spent years preaching about accountability, fairness, and transparency. They've attacked President Trump nonstop over supposed financial improprieties, and yet it turns out they're the ones engaging in fraud with the banks. They're the ones falsifying documents. They're the ones committing, wait for it, drumroll please, actual crimes. And it's not like this is a theory, it's right there in the frickin' paperwork. The loan documents do not lie. These people doctored their numbers, played games with their assets, and they did it all to obtain a favorable rate and beneficial tax deductions. That's mortgage fraud. But if you listen to CNN, oh, it's not about the evidence, no, it's weaponization of the Justice Department.
When it comes to Tish James, this is, Bryn mentioned there was another investigation that the Justice Department started looking into about things related to her mortgage a couple months ago. This is not just a person that suddenly has pinged in two different investigations. This is, as Priscilla was talking about, a long-standing thing. When James was running in 2018, she said she was running to go after Donald Trump. She did that over and over again, won a couple of cases. She's been part of a bunch of the cases that various Democratic attorneys general have been taking against the Trump administration in the last few months, including to try to stop the way that he was imposing tariffs. That was a big win for her office and what they were doing. And this is Donald Trump, not beyond what Phil said about what he was talking about on the campaign trail. He has repeatedly made clear that he sees the Justice Department as essentially his lawyers. And that is how he's using them. I was in touch with somebody from Tish James's office, and the statement that they have put out about this is any weaponization of the justice system should disturb every American, and then they stand strongly behind the cases that they brought.
Oh, wow. Real frickin' rich, isn't it? Oh, really? Now it's weaponization. Now it's a problem. Give me a frickin' break. These people spent years turning the justice system into a political hit squad to target Trump. Lawfare essentially became a full-blown leftist industry, and these media puppets ran cover for it. They justified it. They legitimized it. They told you that all the cases that Trump was facing were all legitimate criminal cases. It's just that Donald Trump found himself in trouble with the law. It had nothing to do with politics, when very clearly, since day one, it was all about politics. But they never wanted to acknowledge that. But now we have a case that's, maybe a little bit about politics in terms of just, going after the most corrupt actors who went after President Trump. I'm sure there's an element of revenge there. But really, these cases are actually predicated on evidence of wrongdoing, but they have the audacity to tell you that they're just political witch hunts. No. And again, that's really the key difference here. There might be an element of revenge, but at the end of the day, these cases actually have merit. They're not, let's call it, creative interpretations of very old, archaic laws meant to twist and criminalize President Trump's legal actions. No, these are just straight up crimes. Fraud. Plain and simple. But if leftoids want to call it lawfare, revenge, honestly, I'm done arguing at this point. I don't even care. Sure. You want to call it that? Okay. Well, regardless of how it started, Letitia James and Adam Schiff are going to have to prove their innocence. And I guess in the end, that will tell, now won't it? If these are truly trumped up charges, well, then they shouldn't have to worry, right? Just like you told us with President Trump, if he didn't do anything, then the justice system will conclude that. All right, well, I guess same standard for you idiots. Oh, it's just so funny. I don't know what it is, but I'm getting such a unique feeling of satisfaction covering this story. Because what it really is a failure of strategy. It's a failure to see 5 steps ahead, frankly, to see past your freaking nose. Obviously, this was going to be the end result unless you won everything. The Democrat strategy was predicated on the idea that they were going to actually protect their corrupt institutions and that Donald Trump wasn't going to win. But they failed at that twice, frankly, 3 times. But anyways, the point is, in the end, they failed, and I guess they didn't calculate for that potential outcome. And now here they are, being served an entire dinner platter of stupid prizes. The whole left-wing lawfare stuff was a grift since day one, a cynical political practice, let's call it that. And frankly, it's the same grift that we're currently seeing dominating the Democrat Party. I mean, this new age of Democrats, they're all riding the same wave, right? There's a reason why Mamdani is so popular.
My administration will be Donald Trump's worst nightmare. And you don't need to take me at my word or take Andrew Cuomo at his, you need to only look at the actions of the Trump administration since I won the Democratic primary. How else can you describe a president who has proposed denaturalizing the Democratic nominee of New York City? How else can you describe a president who has sought to entertain suggestions of deporting, of arresting, of taking control of the city over the will of New Yorkers? Those are the actions of a president who is afraid of the fact that I will actually deliver in a manner where he is simply betrayed.
Because he's promising to take on Donald Trump. He's going to be a nightmare for the Trump administration. That's the promise, and it's going to work in Democrat strongholds, in Democrat circles. Well, Mamdani didn't invent that strategy.
As the next Attorney General, I see the law as a sword and as a shield to protect those who are vulnerable, because no one is above the law, including this illegitimate president. And so, I look forward to going into the office of Attorney General every day, suing him, defending your rights, and then going home.
That's been the strategy. That's what Adam Schiff's been doing for the past decade. It was all about getting Trump. Get Trump at any cost, even if it means the destruction of the world's greatest country. I mean, just to show you how insane these people are. But now the unforeseen consequence is that the script has totally flipped, and now it's less about getting Donald Trump and more like it's time for Trump to get you. And again, you guys don't seem as squeaky clean as he was. He faced every investigation known to frickin' mankind and basically came out unscathed. And now you guys, less than a year into this presidential term, have already been exposed as criminals. Quite sloppy criminals, in fact. Engaging in blatant mortgage fraud and leaving a paper trail. I mean, real frickin' smart. Again, another unforeseen consequence. If you're gonna try to weaponize the justice system against a man, an innocent man, and try to get him on trumped up charges, well, you better finish the frickin' job, and you better have a squeaky clean record yourself, because the moment it gets flipped on you, you know exactly what's coming. And that, my friends, is exactly where we are. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.